Okay, hi Sharon. I am so happy to have you with us. So we're just going to talk a little bit about um, the COVID-19 kind of pandemic that's going on and a singles perspective. So there's been so much information out there, I think, for families and what you do with kids, but there's a huge group of people that are single and by themselves during this pandemic, and especially as we move to the shelter in place. I would love to kind of get just your perspective of how this is affecting your life and some of the things you're doing to combat it.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Thank you for taking some time to reach out. You're right. There is a huge group of folks that are single that do live by themselves. Granted, I always say I don't live by myself because I have a giant dog and she keeps me entertained and is a wonderful companion, but she can't talk with me in person. So, of course. So, anyway, yeah, I would say some of the main things that I'm doing is I've really tried to normalize my day. And so I still wake up early, I go work out, I get ready, and then I sit down and I start my day of work. And that really has helped to just kind of keep some consistency and keep me on track because it isn't, even though we're all going to be sheltering in place, we still have jobs to do. And I feel like even though they might be more flexible because we're all working from home, it is important, and I've found it to be really helpful to just provide myself my own structure as though I am actually going to be going into the office. So I just approach the morning in the same way. And then from the standpoint of living by myself, of course I have my dog, so I go outside a lot with her, take her on walks. We're not doing off leash dog park interacting right now, but we are definitely going on 4 or 5 walks a day, which is great. Gets us outside, we stretch our legs, we get vitamin D. And of course, when I do see people, as we're walking, I have brief conversations, always 6 feet apart, but I'm able to interact with folks in that regard, and I do that on a regular basis, so that hasn't changed. The only difference is I'm standing further away from these people, but that of course is good. And then I've spent a lot of time on the phone, a lot of time calling my friends, more so than texting, or how I would normally have several lunches and dinners and such set up with friends throughout the week. Now I'm just spending a lot of time giving them a phone call. And also, we've started to set up some Zoom calls so we can chat over the phone by video and actually be in person. So those are some of the things that I've been doing. And then, other than that, it's, that is probably the best way that I have found to stay connected to people.
Yeah, and I think that those are a lot of great tips and information for people because, like you said, when you're by yourself, it's like when you can normalize your day, it helps. And I think for everybody, right? Like they always say, get up and get ready and keep on a structured schedule. And then you mentioned, and I know you had said before that you get on video chats with your friends and this craze of like going on like virtual happy hours and virtual dates and things like that. So are you kind of participating in those type of things?
Yeah, definitely virtual happy hours. And, you know, the granted, I also decided to give up alcohol right now, which although other people aren't doing that, I felt like for me, that was, a good decision. So I'm taking a little break and I'm waking up every day feeling great. But yeah, so I'm virtual happy hour with my LaCroix, and that has been fun, and it's been a fun way just to check in with everybody and be connected. So I haven't been on any virtual dates yet, but you never know.
You never know. And how are you staying in touch with your family? Are you able to check in regularly with them and, and jump on some Zoom calls or FaceTimes?
Yeah, so my sister and I, because she's always lived away in another country or another state, we have for years always been really good about FaceTime. So that is something we've always done, and we're just doing that more. And I talk to her and her kids and her husband, several times a week. And then with my folks, they live, not far from me, but I'm actually social distancing or physical distancing, if you will, with them too. So I've just been talking to them on the phone pretty much every day. We check in a couple times a day, actually, just because we have more time on our hands and have a few minutes to do a brief check-in. So that's how I've been, connecting with the family. And then my extended family, a lot of phone calls, talking to my great aunt or my other aunts and uncles. So it's been it's an interesting time, but it actually, with all of this going on, it, has allowed me to catch up with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. You have a lot more time to actually have real conversations, which can be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then from a standpoint of like grocery shopping or shopping, do you have any recommendations or things that you use that have helped?
Yeah, so I actually shopped. I did a really pretty big shopping trip, but I do that's my normal style is I don't run to the store often. I run to the store very infrequently, but I do big trips. So I actually did that about 10 days ago now, and I've been kind of set. Now there's a couple things that I've realized today I'll need, and I will probably go and go to one of the local grocery stores that's right around here and stand in line with everybody else until I have my chance to go in. I know that you've got lots of options with curbside and home delivery. A lot of those services are fantastic. They just are really far. You have to schedule those pretty far out right now. So some of those you can't get a delivery until early April. And if you need something right away, then you're going to be doing the stand in line thing. Yeah. So I would say go early. That would be the only thing, is go early. And the stores are restocking overnight. I know, for example, HEB, they have been preparing for this for months, and they are, there's plenty of inventory out there of all kinds of items. Sometimes it runs out throughout the day. So if you really are in desperate need, just go early.
Awesome. And then do you have any last tips or tricks on how to stay entertained or stay focused while you're shelter in place?
Well, the focus thing, definitely just to have a routine in place and have your space set up of where you're working and make that a consistent thing, just like you would if you were going into an office and you have to be there at a certain time and be in a certain place at your work. So I would say make that a priority for a consistent standpoint. Entertainment, exercise is a big part of my life, and I think, doing that on a regular basis, that doesn't hurt anybody, whether it's a walk, whether it's a simple, workout that you find online and you just do it, body weight exercise at home in your space, those kinds of things I think are really important right now. And then from an entertaining standpoint, if there happens to be a show you haven't watched or a book you haven't read, then now is no better time than to pick those up and do them. From the show standpoint, I would say be cognizant of how much you're going to allow that to be a part of your day. And if it is an irregular amount of time, like you wouldn't be able to replicate it if you were actually working and doing your normal life, then don't do it. But if you allow yourself some time to watch a show every day, by all means, that's a great way to find some entertainment. And there's a lot of movies that I think are going to be going directly online or direct to whatever, if it's Apple TV that you have, as opposed to going into the theaters. So maybe keep an eye on those. Broadway HD, if you like musicals, they're doing a trial for anybody that wants to see those. So there's a lot of things out there. Whatever your interest is, there's probably something. All of those companies, it's really pretty amazing. They've pivoted and they're providing a lot of value by allowing folks to still engage with their products they have and the entertainment that they're providing, and do so online. So I would say, take a minute and see what's out there, because there's probably something you're interested in. And it's pretty cool to see that everyone has pivoted as quickly as they have.
Awesome. Yes, well, that is great advice and great information. So I love that everybody's able to see it from different perspectives. I think we're all getting through this any way we can. So thank you, Sharon. We really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thanks, Holly. Have a good day.